What's on your back burner? When it comes to your art, what is it for you? What is that thing that you keep pushing aside and saving for some other day and waiting until, but it keeps coming back and it keeps showing up and it won't let you go? And have you been getting the sense that it's time? It's time to bring it back into focus, back into the foreground. Well, in today's episode, I'm sharing with you 5 steps to do just that. Welcome to Reawaken Your Voice. I'm Lainey Prendeville Crawford, holistic voice coach, singer, song weaver. I believe the song in your heart holds medicine for yourself and for the world. And yet too often, something happens along the way. We shut down our voice and our song goes unsung. Whether you stopped singing years ago or have always harbored an unrealized dream to start, if you're ready to finally give voice to those unsung songs in your heart, then take my hand as I guide you to free yourself from the inner critic, reignite your creativity, find your courage, sing with confidence, and reawaken those dormant parts of yourself aching for a revival. So dust off your songbooks, tune up your guitar, bust out your singing bowls, your shakers, your drum. Actually, all you really need is your voice, your breath, open ears, and an open heart. Let's play. Your creative passion project. This is what I sometimes like to call the song in your heart. It's something that's been calling you for a long time, but you keep putting it aside, sometimes in favor of other less important projects or one you care less about. And you're keeping yourself busy instead of actually going in and doing the work your heart is calling you to do. It's the big one, right? The one that you keep saving yourself up for, or saving for last, like it's a treat. Or you keep waiting until you're better or ready or more experienced or more enough. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. But you keep pushing it aside and putting it on the back burner, waiting for someday or just another day that's not this one. When in truth, it's actually the project that would create the most transformation and the greatest impact, not only in your life, but in the lives of others. Yeah, it's that one. And how do I know? Because I am knee deep in it. I guess the better way to say it is that I am heart deep in it myself. It's the project that you don't do for a certain outcome. You do it for the process. You do it just to do it. Like, it's not a means to an end. It is the end in and of itself. And you do it because it's in your heart and you can't not do it. And maybe you've tried So you know that it keeps coming back and it's not going anywhere. And so maybe you know, like me, that it's time to stop fighting it, stop resisting it, and just go for it. Surrender to it. And finally say yes to the song in your heart. I've recently shared about how I've put an old archiving project aside to focus my creative energy on the one that's actually calling to my heart and has been for years. Although I never really knew what form it would take. And, I'm finally beginning to see a shape. It's like I'm seeing a silhouette of what it may become. And I'm already seeing that it actually looks much different than I thought it would. So interesting how the creative process ebbs and flows and opens up and shows us the path little by little, like little hints, little teasers. So this project for me, this is my first album of original songs, recorded, produced, compiled, released. So I am heart deep in this process of pruning and looking for the fruit that is on the cusp of ripeness and ready to be enjoyed. So what is it for you? What is your creative passion project? In today's episode, I'll give you 5 steps to bring that creative passion project from the back burner to the foreground of your daily life to get moving and get some momentum again. And I'll also share with you what step I'm in, how I'm progressing and how I'm moving forward. So those 5 steps to breathe new life into this project and begin again. Number 1, forgiveness. Number 2, permission. Number 3, vision. Number 4, plan. Number 5, begin. So let's go deeper into each of these, starting with number 1, forgiveness. Forgive yourself for putting it on the back burner. This time, or however many times you've put it there in the past. It is so easy to beat ourselves up about this, about not following through or not doing what we told ourselves we were going to do. And there can be a lot of shame attached to this. So before you even take one step forward, forgive yourself. Let it go. There's a beautiful Hawaiian prayer. Perhaps you've heard of it, Ho'oponopono. And it's like a traditional healing practice. And it centers around repentance, forgiveness, gratitude, and love. And it means, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And there are many things you can do with this, but I love to sing it over and over in like a vocal improvisation. But you can also make your own version of this, just like a little song of forgiveness, of letting go, of wrapping yourself in love. So you can use this phrase, ho'oponopono, or you can make your own version in your own language, which is also very powerful, something that has meaning for you. But this moment of forgiveness, this is a new beginning. Number 2, permission. Give yourself permission to start again, to begin fresh, or to start over if that's what's needed, to pick up where you left off if that's what is called for. Start where you are now, as the person you've become since last working on it. You can bring all of that with you, or you can let it all go. Give yourself permission to start in the way that your heart is nudging you to start. Number 3, vision. This is the daydreaming stage, where you look at the big picture with new eyes. Maybe you've gained some perspective since last working on it. In this phase, you're playing with ideas and brainstorming, gathering ideas, opening to new possibilities. Maybe this can be seen as being more receptive, like you're tuning into your inner voice, maybe giving yourself time for reflection and prayer and creating that spaciousness to listen within. So this could look like listening to a guided meditation or visualization while just reflecting on the project. This can really help you connect with that inner voice. Or journaling. I love journaling. Going on a walk in nature, like whatever it is that you do for inspiration and for gathering ideas, collecting ideas. This is your visioning phase. I love this visioning phase. It is my favorite, which means it's also very easy to get stuck here because it's so much fun for the creative spirit to just play. It's like an open playground where anything is possible. That's why the next step is so important. Number 4, plan. Make it practical. Bring it down to earth. Make it tangible, measured, like map it out. This is your tactical project management, where you schedule practice or creative time. You lay out like a tangible strategy, step by step, to make it happen. Now, that's not to say we see every step before it comes. That's many times not the case. But the steps that you do see as necessary to get to that point, lay them out, map it out. I love using a project journal for this. My favorite one is by Horatio Printing, and I'll link that in the show notes. But you're creating time blocks, Maybe that looks like using a paper planner to plan out your time, plan out your days. And maybe it's digital, depending on how you work best. You know yourself. Do what works for you. But make it fun and make it creative, because you want to involve the artist in you. But you make a plan, whatever that looks like for you. And maybe it's just the first step, planning that first step, and that's enough. But the most important thing, number 5, begin. Just begin. Begin to execute that plan one day, one step, one phase at a time. What is one thing that you can do each day that will add up to a finished product? So going back to your creative passion project, the big one, that big song in your heart. How can you forgive yourself for putting it on the back burner? Give yourself permission to start again. Create some time to vision, to daydream, to gather ideas. And then make a tactical plan to manage that project and bring it to full fruition. Just begin. I'm currently in step 4, where I'm mapping out the plan. So perhaps I'll share more about that productivity piece and the planning phase in a future episode, as in like how to map out a project and follow through and all of these elements. How do you group these ideas, these steps into phases? I can talk about that. If there's something else you have questions about, or you want me to go deeper into, or you'd like me to cover in a future episode, let me know. You can send me an email at support@reawakenyourvoice.com. Until next time, keep that creative spark alive and remember to have fun in the process. But most importantly, just begin. Even if that means beginning again. Hey friend, thank you so much for listening. If this episode unlocked something in you or moved you in some way, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're streaming this, and share this episode with a friend who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough. Until we meet again, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.